Have you ever felt that sometimes the whole universe seems to conspire to knock you down? As if each door closed well in your face, just when you need a little push. Believe me, you are not alone. But here is a truth that few have the courage to face. It is not the obstacles that define their destiny. It is their answer to them. Imagine if Viktor Frankl had surrendered to despair in the concentration camps, or if Elon Musk had given up after SpaceX first failures. Each one discovered that the most powerful force that exists is not in the circumstances, but in the daily choice of moving on and building an unshakable habit of never giving up. In this content, I will show you how to develop this winning mindset, the one that transforms adversity into fuel to grow. Let's talk about perseverance, resilient leadership, achievable goals, and more. Get ready to be inspired by real examples, practical strategies, and deep reflections that will give you the energy and vitality to follow your own path of overcoming. If you've already wondered how to build empires, even when everything seems to go wrong, or how to keep confidence in the process, even without immediate results, you are in the right place. And I go further, I will prove you that resilience is not a mystical gift reserved for a few lucky. It is a daily choice of skill that anyone determined can master. So take a deep breath, adjust your posture, and come with me. Oh, and already subscribe to the channel and activate notifications, because here you will learn to turn each fall into an even louder jump. Let's go together on this journey of overcoming and conquest. Being deprived of liberty is one of the most devastating experiences that someone may face. Viktor Frankl felt it on the skin in the horrors of concentration camps. No rights, no comfort, without even the certainty of tomorrow. But even in this dark scenario, he found a force that no executioners could take: inner freedom, that invisible thread of hope that connected his soul to something greater than suffering. And it is from this spark that begins our journey towards overcoming. Frankl realized that while everything around it collapsed, he could still choose the meaning he gave to his suffering. It seems impossible, right? But that is precisely where power lives. It is not about ignoring the pain, but of refusing to be defined by it. When we understand that life makes sense even in the most adverse circumstances, we find a different courage, a courage that builds inner empires. It is easy to keep faith when everything goes well. It is difficult to find energy and vitality when the world looks like a minefield. Viktor Frankl teaches us that the true meaning is not lost in the midst of pain. He reveals himself. And this revelation can become the greatest ally of our resilience. Adversity, rejection, suffering. All this can be the soil where determination flourishes if we choose to cultivate. We often get stuck to the idea that happiness depends on the absence of pain. But Frankl proves us the opposite. What matters is the way you respond to this pain. It is in choosing the attitude that the winning mindset is born. It is she who allows us to transform every blow of life into a firmer step towards our achievable goals, those who, added, build our own empire of overcoming. If Viktor Frankl found sense even in the hell of concentration camps, who are we to doubt our own resilience power? Each adversity we face is an invitation to discover forces we didn't even know to have. And it is with this long-term view, with this confidence in the process, that we begin to build a story that is worth told. But calm down, because there's a lot more for us to explore. When Viktor Frankl was arrested in the concentration camps, he had no control over almost anything. But there was one thing that no one could take from him: the choice of his attitude to the circumstances. This is very powerful. Inner freedom, our ability to decide how to react to life events, is something that cannot be subdued, even at the most extreme moments. We may even lose the material things, but this choice remains untouched. Frankl reminds us that, in the face of any situation, we always have the power to decide our answer. This is not to say it will be easy, but the attitude we choose may be the difference between being crushed by the weight of obstacles or using those same obstacles as trampolines to grow. He opted for hope, the search for meaning, even though he knew that many around him were succumbing to despair. And it is this choice that makes resilience not only possible but powerful. This teaching goes beyond simple optimism. It is something deeper, finding a purpose even when everything seems meaningless. Frankl found this purpose by helping other prisoners find that, despite the inhuman conditions, it was still possible to live with dignity if they kept their inner freedom intact. As he himself said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. It is fascinating to think that true freedom is not in external circumstances, but in our ability to choose how to react to them. It changes everything. Imagine if we all made this decision every day. If, instead of letting ourselves drag the flow of life, would we decide to be protagonists of our history? This daily choice to respond with hope, with determination, can turn even the hardest adversities into opportunities for overcoming. Now think about it in your own life. When you come across a challenge, remember the attitude you choose may be the key to turning the game. Viktor Frankl, as he passed one of the greatest human tragedies in history, gave us the greatest example of freedom, the ability to choose, even when there seemed to be no choice. This is the attitude that strengthens us and allows us to build our own victory, regardless of difficulties. Perseverance is more than just a quality. It is a transformative force. It is not about achieving success immediately, but of keeping trying even when there are no guarantees. Often the way to conquest is tortuous, full of ups and downs. But perseverance is what keeps you up, even when the chances of success seem minimal. It's not about knowing what will happen tomorrow. It's about acting today, without hesitation, even in uncertainty. Dale Carnegie's famous quote reminds us of this: most important things in the world were performed by people who kept trying when there seemed to be no hope. And that is exactly what defines the winners. They do not have the magic formula for instant success. They simply refuse to give up. This teaches us that the real test is not the moment of success, but the moment when everything seems to be crumbling and you decide to continue. To persevere is to understand that failure is not an end but a lesson. Each stumble is an opportunity to adjust the route, learn something new, and move on with more experience and strength. Great success stories, such as Tim Cook and Elon Musk, are filled with moments where the chances of failing seem much greater than to win. However, what kept them moving was this unbeatable persistence. Have you ever been tempted to give up after a series of failures? Believe me, it is in these moments that perseverance becomes a powerful virtue. Each time you get up, even a little more tired, you are closer to your goal. There's no straight line for success. Sometimes the road is long and full of deviations, but each step taken is one more step towards fulfillment. So if the journey seems difficult, don't give up. Remember that perseverance is not just to continue in the same place, but keep adapting, strengthening, and moving on. Success is often a reward for those who have the courage to persist when everything seems lost. The real achievement is never to stop trying. When we think of perseverance, it is impossible not to remember Robert Frost, one of the most renowned poets in history. Frost had his work rejected more than 40 times before finally seeing his first published poetry book. Imagine the pain of having your art ignored repeatedly. But instead of surrender, he continued, believing the value of his vision. His persistence not only led him to achieve success, but also to win 4 Pulitzer Awards. He teaches us that failure is not an obstacle, but a test that you must overcome with faith in your purpose. Bethany Hamilton is another impressive example of perseverance. After losing their arm in a shark attack, most people would have thrown the towel, but not her. Instead, Bethany got up and surfed again, challenging all expectations. Your philosophy of life is clear. I don't need it easy. I just need possible. This phrase perfectly encapsulates the mindset of those who choose persevere, regardless of the difficulty. Her world is no longer easy, but she made everything possible. This is the essence of resilience. And what about Tim Cook? When he assumed the position of CEO of Apple after Steve Jobs' death, many doubted his ability to lead the technology giant. The pressure was immense, even greater skepticism. But Tim Cook not only surpassed these adversities, he turned Apple into an even more innovative power. He maintained the values of innovation, creativity, and excellence that Jobs had left, and more importantly, He remained firm even when the whole world looked at him with suspicion. His perseverance not only rescued Apple, but led her to new levels. These three examples show that perseverance is not about having everything under control, but about not giving up when the world looks against you. Each of them faced great challenges, but they also had the courage to move on, even when it seemed easier to give up. The lesson here is clear: the greatest successes often come after the greatest rejections and difficulties. The secret is to persist, even though the journey seems endless. Finally, remember that perseverance is something we can all cultivate. No matter what your dream or goal is, the key to achieving it is not to abandon it. If these big names have managed to overcome gigantic obstacles, you're also able to go firmly on your way. Your success story can be written by the same steps of perseverance. Building resilience begins with the right mindset. Adopting a winning mindset is critical to transforming obstacles into trampolines. When you face a challenge, instead of seeing it as an enemy, start seeing it as an opportunity for growth. It changes everything. Problems are no longer heavy bales and become opportunities to learn, improve, and get even closer to their goals. The secret is not what happens to you, but the way you react to it. But it is not enough just to want to be resilient. It is necessary to set bold but achievable goals. This means defining grandiose goals, but you can divide into small victories along the way. If you force the bar and try to skip steps, you will get frustrated. Instead, focus on daily goals that gradually take you toward your big dream. As they say, the 1,000-kilometers journey begins with a single step. Every step you take, however small, is one more step toward your empire. Does not underestimate the power of strategic connections. The way to success is rarely taken alone. Mentors, allies, employees, and even people who share their vision are fundamental. They offer new perspectives, support, and often are the key to solutions that you alone could not see. So don't be afraid to seek help, to connect with people who can add to your journey. Sometimes the biggest differential in your path is the network of people you build throughout the process. In addition, it is vital to support your physical, mental, and emotional energy. Resilience is not only about the strength of the mind, but also about the care of body and soul. Practices such as meditation, regular exercise, and balanced diet are key. When your energy is in balance, your mind becomes clearer and your ability to make assertive decisions increases. This is where true resistance begins to build, not only as a willpower, but as a force that comes from within, supported by a healthy body and mind. Finally, remember, resilience is a muscle that you need to train every day. It is a constant practice of small victories, building connections, and caring for your energy that will make you stronger with each challenge. Do not expect life to be easy, but expect that with each passing day you will be better able to face whatever you want to put in your way. Your resilience will be your biggest ally when you need it most. Elon Musk is a brilliant example of how to turn trampoline failures into success. SpaceX, one of the companies he founded, has undergone a series of initial failures that could have knocked over any other entrepreneur. Instead of surrendering, Musk used each failure as an opportunity to learn and improve. He did not see the failed tests as defeats, but as essential steps on the way to innovation. If you look at SpaceX's trajectory, you will find that perseverance and the ability to learn from errors are the basis of what has made the company a success. Musk is also a master of dividing great views into smaller and more achievable milestones. Instead of being paralyzed by the grandeur of his projects, he breaks everything in stages and focuses on the victories that can be won today. This approach allows it to focus on what really matters and make continuous progress, even when the ultimate goal seems distant. Each milestone has reached the motivation and keeps the momentum of its team on the rise. The secret is not to get lost in the immensity of your dream, but to celebrate every little victory on the way. And we must not forget the connections that Musk has built over the years. He surrounded himself with bright people and used the best minds in the world to help him turn his dreams into reality. He did not do it alone. Great empires, such as SpaceX and Tesla, were built with a network of talent and a culture of constant innovation. Musk has a rare ability to gather people who share their vision and together create something that can change the world. This shows us that when you have the right connections, success becomes much more achievable. Another important point is the tireless energy that Musk maintains throughout his journey. It is not just your intelligence that drives you, but your dedication and focus. He is not afraid to work exhaustive hours and take risks to achieve his goals. However, he also understands the importance of having a long-term vision. This view is what maintains its high motivation and renewed energy, even in the most difficult times. Musk's resilience does not come from a supernatural force, but from an ability to focus on its mission and remain energized regardless of challenges. If you want to learn how to apply these strategies, you don't have to go as far as Musk. But the lesson is clear perseverance, the division of great goals into concrete steps, the construction of a strong network, and the care of their energy are fundamental to achieving success. If he got, with so many flaws and challenges, you can. So how about starting to apply these strategies today? Start small, but think big. Resilience is not something you're born with, but something you choose to cultivate every day. We all go through challenges and moments of doubt, but the real difference between those who achieve success and those who get along is the ability to get up and continue, even when everything seems to be against you. Resilience is not an extraordinary ability of the few, but a daily practice of all those who refuse to give up. It is gradually built in every small step, in every consistent action, even when motivation is not visible. Trusting in the process is another essential aspect. Often success is not immediate, and results may take time to appear. You dedicate yourself, work hard, but the fruits seem distant. At such times, patience and confidence in the process become fundamental. Remember, the strongest trees have deep roots. Waiting time is not lost time, it is the space necessary for growth, for maturity. When the results finally arrive, you will realize that each step was essential for your progress. Every step you take today is a brick in building your future. It may seem that the progress is small, but over time these steps add up. If you keep moving forward, even slowly, you will soon see that you are closer than you ever imagined. Your future depends on what you do now. It does not underestimate the power of small daily habits. Small choices made with courage. They will accumulate, and what seemed impossible will become possible. Finally, remember your future. I will look back and thank you for the courage you had today. Each time you choose not to give up, you are building your empire. Resilience is not just about overcoming difficulties. It is about having a long-term vision, knowing that the best moment is yet to come, and act as if you have already achieved your biggest goals. So continue. With each step, you are closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Now that you have the tools and the vision to master the habit of never giving up, it's time to act. Resilience is not something you earn at once. It is a constant practice, a daily exercise of choices and actions. Every step you take, even if it seems small, is solidifying a foundation for your successful future. The path will not be easy, but believe me, today's effort is what will prepare you for the biggest challenges of tomorrow. Trust the process, even when the results take time to appear. Often the biggest temptation is to give up the moment you are closer to success. But remember, the difference between those who achieve their goals and those who stay along the way is the ability to continue, even without seeing the immediate fruits of their work. When you persist, even in adversity, you are creating a story of overcoming that will be admired and will inspire others to follow the same path. Look at every obstacle that comes as an opportunity for learning, not as a barrier. The mindset you cultivate is the key to unlocking your true potential. You are able to accomplish amazing things, and no matter how hard the way may seem now, believe me, you are building something lasting. Soon, the small steps you are taking today will join to form the empire you have always dreamed of. And lastly, remember you are not alone on this journey. Each great achievement is built by people who support themselves, share visions, and get up through each other. Subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, and keep following our content to learn more about mastering success. Together, let's build an unbeatable future. Your future will look back and thank you for the courage you showed today. The best is yet to come, and you are closer than you think of becoming unstoppable.